We're rolling.
Welcome to the Bucket of Beef Show.
Thank you to Julia for our intro.
And roommate Julia, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to do the... Yeah.
Happy podcasting.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome
Beefy
to-
Ultra. Now that feels good. Cha-cha-cha. Beefy. Beefy. Yeah. Welcome back to the podcast for our...
5th episode.
Ooh, this is the
5th episode.
We're moving along, man.
We are.
I'm
We're
very
kicking
happy
in.
about it. My name is Alex Morrison,
My name is Luke Hodson.
and we have some fun stuff for you today. Do you have anything you want to... How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well.
That's
I'm good.
good.
I did some laundry this morning, and we got a bunch of soap and toilet paper, and we're really living our best adult lives.
We're really kicking it into high gear. For all of those, for those of you that have not heard, we do have a Patreon page.
We do have a Patreon
We have a
page.
Patreon. You can feel free to pick us out. Pick us out. Wow. Check us out on patreon.com/bucketofbeef.
Bucket of Beef Show.
Bucket of Beef Show.
Yeah.
Patreon. I can't say Patreon. Patreon.com/bucket of beef show.
Dude, my favorite podcast ever, he the guy, the host, he says Patreon. And it bugs me because I'm not even sure anymore.
I know Patreons.
He's like, Patreon.
My
Join us on
Patreons.
patrons.
But if you join our Patreon page, you can get exclusive voting power for our upcoming podcasts. You can listen to podcast episodes days before they air.
Absolutely.
On our regular channels. And you can also have access to our exclusive HBO Max The Last of Us review series.
Yeah.
So feel free to check it out.
Follow us on Instagram at Bucket of Beef Show. I feel like we're going to be spending a lot of time on Instagram.
Yeah, I made a Facebook page and I don't like Facebook, so we'll see. And we're trying to make a Twitter account. Hopefully we have a Twitter account by now.
I'm making Luke do Facebook and Twitter because I don't want to do this.
Yeah, we already got locked out of our podcast email. So
Yeah,
it's been fun.
It's okay.
But we're figuring it out.
We're
And by the
always
time this
learning.
airs, we're going to know exactly how to address it.
Absolutely.
All right, so what's the first movie that we're talking about today, Alex?
The first movie we're talking about came out in 1999, starring Brendan Fraser in a little movie called The Mummy.
Da Mummy.
The Mummy. The Mummy is a rousing, suspenseful, and horrifying epic about an expedition of treasure-seeking explorers in the Sahara Desert in 1925. Stumbling upon an ancient tomb, the hunters unwittingly set loose a 3,000-year-old legacy of terror, which is embodied in the vengeful reincarnation of an Egyptian priest who had been sentenced to an eternity as one of the living dead.
That is such an epic description for that film.
It's an epic... I think it's an epic movie.
It's an epic movie.
Yeah.
I think it epitomizes the turn from the 90s to the early 2000s so
Really?
perfectly.
Why do you say that?
I just feel like it has like the... I don't know, it's just very bombastic, and I think like... I can't tell if it takes itself really seriously or not seriously at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of a strange mixture of things that's like, to me, quintessentially late 90s to early 2000s, where everything is just... There's a certain earnestness to, especially action movies made during that time.
Yeah.
Where it's like full goof mode, but like with a serious face. Like it's a serious threat, and they treat it seriously. How does the movie start, Alex? Like, what's the little intro that they have for it?
The little intro?
Yeah.
Isn't it
Like the flashback sequence
Oh,
in the very
it's
beginning.
it's war. But Brendan Fraser is in the war.
No, I'm talking before
Oh,
that.
before that. This priest is getting it on with the pharaoh's wife.
Not even the pharaoh's wife. The pharaoh's mistress.
Oh, it's the mistress. See, I told you. We watched this movie like 4 days ago, and I'm like,
Alex told me he wasn't going to remember anything about this movie, which I think is indicative of, I think maybe his ultimate score for it. But we'll see. First off, I'm gonna say The Mummy's a bad film.
Oh, okay.
I think The Mummy's a bad film.
Okay.
But I think it's a very fun bad film.
Okay.
And I think it's a bad film, like especially with time.
It's a bad film with time.
With time, like I don't think it ages. I don't know if it ages super well. I don't know if
it doesn't age. I mean, CGI is
the CGI is garbage.
Yeah,
but that's
every
to
scene
be
with
expected.
CGI water looks like jello.
I love all of the wide-mouthed people.
Yeah, so many wide-mouthed people.
Let's go into the initial curse for the mummy.
Okay.
Like what happens to this guy.
Okay.
So this high priest has betrayed the pharaoh. Not only does he sleep with the forbidden mistress, But he also kills the pharaoh,
pharaoh.
with her. The pharaoh's men eventually hunt them down, and they basically do this death ritual to him that curses him for all of eternity. But for some reason, the curse also makes him an immortal god if he's resurrected.
Completely indestructible.
With the ultimate goal of destroying all of humanity.
Can turn into sand.
Yeah. So
steals people's eyes, faces, and skin.
And fluids.
And
That was my
fluids.
favorite part, is that it, like, feasts on their fluids.
Yeah.
Every kind.
Oh, man. So, Brendan Fraser. We've been on a fun Brendan Fraser kick.
Brendan Fraser's great. And he's great in this movie.
He's really fun in this movie. I have only seen Brendan Fraser in bits of Doom Patrol
I've never seen Doom Patrol.
and George of the Jungle.
He's in Doom Patrol?
Yeah.
Like the new show?
He plays the robot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That I did not know.
And he's just a dual pistol wielding badass in this.
Yeah, I love the dual wielding aspect of all of the weapons in this movie.
Dude,
it's like
everyone's-
very much Halo 3 at all times.
Everyone's pointing two guns at somebody at
Yeah.
all times. in
Peak
this
violence.
movie. Yeah.
They got some American goofballs in there.
Yeah. They're like, oh, silly Americans.
How did you feel about the British siblings?
The brother was annoying.
The brother was annoying. I thought the female love interest was a totally wasted character.
I agree with you.
Like, it kept seeming like they were gonna do things, like, interesting things with her, but then she just continued to be like a klutz and a sex object.
She's like, I'm a librarian, and Brendan Fraser's like, cool.
And honestly, I feel like she was undercutting herself just by calling herself a librarian.
She was undercutting
Like, she
herself.
was clearly one of the, like, preeminent experts on Egyptology.
Yeah. Well, I
in the
mean,
world of
her
this
whole thing,
film.
she's like, well, I can read hieroglyphics like no one else can.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean,
So, but she's like, but I'm just a piece of shit.
the first thing she does in this movie is knock over or just destroys an entire library.
Yeah,
Which is so goofy.
She's got the klutzy librarian glasses look.
But Rachel Weisz? Is that
Rachel
her?
Weisz.
Man, she's...
Absolutely gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel Weisz is an absolute smoke show.
And they have, like, really good chemistry, honestly.
They do have good chemistry. I think they have great chemistry. I would have liked to see some more, like, go-getting from her part. Because it's like she's always the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
And that to me is also, like, very, like, late 90s, early 2000s vibe. Where, like, the girl's in trouble and, like, wants to fuck the lead guy. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's basically what her character is.
I mean,
in
yeah.
this. And there's more. Like, she solves a lot of things. She's kind of the catalyst for a lot of the problems in the movie because she's just so excited to learn.
Yes,
And it
yes.
kind of bites everybody in the ass.
I feel, and just kind of pivoting a little bit, there was a scene at the beginning, now that I'm kind of going through the cast, where the doctor at the library that she worked at, he, like, burns this map.
Yes.
And I feel like we were both really kind of fooled.
No.
that
Well,
moment.
yeah, I guess. Yeah. I
Because
think
we
so,
were like,
maybe.
you idiot, why did you burn that map? And that later it's revealed that he was, like, doing that on purpose.
But he could have committed way more. He could have been like, let me look at this alone.
I think
and then
he
burned
also
it.
could have been like, there's a reason.
Yeah.
We don't go here.
Then there would have been no movie, though, if he did that. So,
You're right.
Do you have any favorite characters in this film?
Do I have any favorite? I mean, Brendan Fraser, I think, is my favorite character.
I loved the little piece of shit weasel guy.
I hate... Well, I
I
mean,
know you hated him, but I
hated
loved him. I loved him.
Weasel.
What was his name? What was the character's name?
Ardith?
Maybe it was Ardith?
think that's him.
It shows
It's
all
either
of...
him or Benny. It's Benny.
Oh, Benny.
Benny.
Yeah. What we're looking at right now, it's showing all of the pictures of cast members in this, but since it's now been like 24 years, they're all aged up.
They're
so
all
it's
aged
hard
up.
to discern exactly what they looked like in their youth by their aged pictures.
Yes.
Yeah. Except for Rachel Weisz and Brendan Fraser.
She looks the exact same.
Yeah,
almost.
basically.
So, and also this movie says that camels are faster than horses.
Camels are faster than horses canonically, according
Yeah.
to the Mummy.
Yeah, they have a race
Yeah.
to get to the site or whatever, or the tomb.
I like how there's constant wars over this site, but like no one's dug far enough yet. Like it's been fought over for centuries, but like these Americans and the British are like the first ones to get there. They're really the first ones not to know any better, I think.
No, but also the way that they find it is they have to wait until the sun rises and then it becomes uninvisible.
Yeah, that is true. It's invisible, but for some reason when they're in it, they can see it still.
It doesn't make sense, honestly, but it's okay.
But it's it's what the movie is.
Suspend your disbelief for a movie called The Mummy.
Yeah, there's dual wielding. There's a whole bunch of violence going on. The action is kind of nonstop in this film.
Oh, this movie goes.
Yeah,
this
movie goes for sure. Goes for sure. Did you have a favorite action sequence, Alex?
Yeah, my favorite action sequence is when the mummy comes to life for the first time, and I just remember Brendan Fraser goes to save Evelyn, and the mummy like yells in his face, and he yells right back. The mummy's like, "Ah!" And he's like, "Ah!" And then he like shoots him with the shotgun. That's like right when Homie gets his eyes taken.
Yeah, the poor guy.
Yeah.
He got the worst of it because he got his shit taken, and then the mummy came back for more later.
No, they were chilling in a hotel.
So he
The
had
guy
all
was
that time to develop trauma over the course of that, whereas these other people just like instantly got.
Yes. Do you have a favorite action sequence?
Do I have a favorite action sequence? It's got to be for those of you that have or haven't seen The Mummy, in like the third act, like the climactic sequence of the movie, the mummy's ultimate goal is to make himself whole again so he's invincible and also resurrect his long lost mistress.
Yeah.
The pharaoh's former mistress.
Ankh Sunamun.
Yes, that's the name.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna.
I knew that
try
off
to
the
say
top
it.
of my head.
So essentially, he wants Evelyn so he can use her soul to resurrect her sacrifice, basically to resurrect his long lost love. While they're trying to stop this evil mummy from doing this, the mummy summons his boys, who are like just trained professional soldiers with spears and shields, and they do a bunch of crazy acrobatic things. They're crawling all over. They're fighting
crawling
everybody
the wall like Spider-Man.
Yeah, they're all Spider-Man. This is really kind of the precursor to Into the Spider-Verse, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Kind of think this is the sequel to Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is all I'm saying. I'm just saying if Indy had two pistols instead of a whip.
Did you like this more than Raiders of the Lost Ark?
I did, yes.
Oh my god.
Like a lot more.
Oh, could you?
I'm so sorry.
That's fitting though. It's a good like popcorn movie, like turn off your brain.
Yeah,
and enjoy.
Yeah. I enjoy the premise. I mean, I know it like the movie as a whole doesn't take itself too seriously, but I enjoy the premise of like a singular unstoppable force. And when we were watching it, I was like, okay, so they left, and for some reason they're gonna have to go back, but they're like, no, we're not going back. And the mummy is just like in the world now.
Yeah, he just follows them.
He just like follows
But
them
he has
around.
two fatal weaknesses before he gains his full power. Cats and closed doors. Or windows. The mummy has a habit of turning into sand constantly whenever he's afraid or needs or like wants to get away. Yeah, and I thought that was kind of fun.
That was good.
That was kind of fun thing. They have some little interesting things with the sand thing, like when he's trying to get into Evelyn's room when they lock her up, because they're like, instead, like, we could have someone out here to try to protect you, but instead we're all gonna leave and leave you locked in this hotel room, basically.
Also, she gets assaulted twice in this movie.
She does.
Brendan Fraser,
and then she falls in love with
the first guy
him.
who assaults her.
Who's Brendan Fraser's character.
Yeah, he's like in prison, and like he like goes in for a kiss, like grabs her through the bars.
Yeah, and just like kisses her, and then she's like, I can't stop thinking about that kiss. My favorite.
He starts rolling out the guns and bullets and stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my god.
My favorite part in terms of their like really cringy romance is when they're getting drunk. I think it's after the first day of digging.
Yeah.
And she's just like so down bad for him, and she's so drunk, and she's like, what's she asks what his name is or what it is. He reveals that his name's Rick, and she's like, oh, Rick. And then she's like, I'm going to kiss you now, and then instantly falls asleep, which is kind of cute.
Which and we talked because it made me so mad that after she found out his like first name was Rick, she never said it again.
Yeah.
She was like, O'Connell.
Yeah, which I wish that she would have just kept calling him Rick, because that would have been fucking hilarious.
I would have been awesome.
That would have been very good. But that unfortunately did not come to pass.
No.
Yeah.
Skin-eating beetles?
The skin-eating beetles, there's a whole lot of... We've kind of been on a little bug kick for these films.
Lots of bugs.
Got the roaches, we got the bugs. There's a lot of, like, in terms of, like explorer-themed movies, they love to hit on, like, bugs and snakes and all that kind of... The creepy crawlies. But these were probably... Ooh, this is a good question. Mm-hmm. Do you think the flesh-eating scarab beetles of the Mummy could defeat the roaches on Mars?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Not even a chance?
And the more that I think about those horrifying creatures, those fucking atrocities, I think nothing can stop them. I feel like 10 of them literally could not be stopped.
Really?
Period.
Just drop them in Times Square and watch them take over the U.S.?
Everything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. No, the Beatles don't have shit.
No.
Comparatively.
I like the Beatles' two main moves, which is, one, if they're in huge groups, is to just swarm and eat the shit out of everyone. And then I like, two, that if they're alone, they'll crawl into your brain and make you run yourself into a wall and kill yourself. Two very good evolutionary tactics,
God.
I think.
And that's how, because Benny really gets the worst of it in the end when he gets trapped in the tomb.
Yeah, Benny's really. There's a character named Benny in this film. Benny's just constantly playing every side. He's basically just trying to pick the winner every time.
Sucks. I hate him.
Who is the most handsome man in this film?
Who?
The leader of the I think it was for sure the leader of the Pharaoh's bodyguards.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
The guy drenched in all black.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Who basically caused the problem in the first place.
How did he cause the problem?
Well, the Pharaoh's bodyguards did, like the ancient ones.
Yeah.
Because they were the ones that did the dumb ritual. Then they're like, now we have to keep all of our ancestors employed and dedicated to this singular goal of containing a WMD that we made from an adulterous priest. I wonder what they're going to do
with the rest of their lives now, though. Now that they don't really have to worry about the
Listen, I'm
mummy's
sure
curse.
we'll see them in The Mummy.
The Mummy Returns?
Returns.
That's crazy.
Which I don't know how Dwayne The Rock Johnson ends up factoring into that, but I'm intrigued.
Is he in the
He's
Mummy
in it.
Is he? I thought.
Yeah, the scene where he's revealed.
I thought he was in the Scorpion King.
Oh, I thought the Scorpion King was in The Mummy Returns. He's like the main threat.
Is he?
In The Mummy Returns, yeah.
I don't know any of this.
Because you always see the clip on like bad CGI.
Oh, you're so right.
And it's him revealing himself as the Scorpion
King. You're so right.
King.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool, I guess.
We'll have to see if we watch it.
I'd watch it. I really like this movie. I like it.
It was fun. It was a fun film.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was definitely fun.
I'm trying to think, are there any more like really spectacular fun moments for me? Or what was the worst thing?
There's a lot of like fun practical fight scenes in this.
Yeah.
Like I appreciated the fight sequences, the whole sequence when they're on the boat.
Yeah.
And they're all fighting and the boat's burning down, and it's the first time that they're like they really see and have to deal with the Pharaoh's bodyguard.
Yeah. The funny thing about the boat was that it was only hay, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, hay and bullets.
Hay and bullets and like candles. Like,
yeah.
It was how did you think that was
a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
It was a certified tinderbox.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. I do like in that one, they basically kill most of the Pharaoh's bodyguards in that, or a lot of the Pharaoh's bodyguards on that ship. And then the Pharaoh's bodyguards, they come back and they see him next time. They're like, we're going to give you a warning this time. If you don't leave in a day, we'll kill you.
We will kill you.
But,
and then
but the first time they don't give a fuck.
No.
They're like, we're bringing this ship down. What were you going to say?
Remember the old guy on the plane?
Oh, that's my favorite character.
I was about to say,
the old
think he's
British
my
man.
favorite character too. He just dies.
The Royal Air Force guy.
Instant, yeah.
Yeah.
He gives them a plane to go rescue Rachel Weisz's character, and they're like, you're probably gonna die. It's crazy. There's like a living zombie, and like he's made of sand, and he's like, really? I'm in. And so he like flies them, and the mummy is like chasing the airplane with this sand wall, and they bring the plane down, and the old British guy like dies within like 5 minutes of us meeting him.
Basically, maybe 10. I
was
also
like,
I
that-
love
was
the
like,
I
Homie
love
was
the
so
practical
good.
set of their crash where the plane's just sticking straight up, basically like with little pieces like
And he just
out
starts
of the
sinking
sand.
in. It's like the only bit of the plane that's sinking into
Yeah,
the sand.
yeah. I loved that part. I hope he returns and the Mummy returns.
He won't.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably
They'll have to
not.
find some other cheeky Brits.
I think Benny should be. I think they should have just not done The Rock. And Benny should be.
Benny should
The
have
second
been the
Mummy,
villain.
yes.
Wow.
Because I hate him so much.
We'll have to talk to Dwayne about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Dwayne.
They gave Benny a lot to do in this film.
They did.
Benny had a lot of screen time in this,
He
and
sure
I
did.
appreciated it. Yeah.
If I would have seen him on the street in 1999 after I
Bop
watched this
him.
movie, I'd be like,
Sock him a good one.
I'd throw fucking quarters at him.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Damn.
You can't be a 2-bit hack.
You call him a 2-bit hack?
I'd call him a 2-bit hack to his face.
I call him a 2-bit schemer. I don't think he's a hack.
He's a hack.
I don't think he's a hack. I think he knows what he's doing.
I don't think he knows what he's doing.
No, he's kind of learning on the fly, but he's got some moxie to him, and I appreciate it. You aren't telling me that Benny would thrive in the hustling streets of New York?
Yeah, he would thrive.
He would thrive.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a hustler, man. Respect the grind.
Fuck Benny. Okay, so how would you rate this movie?
How would I rate this movie?
I'm kind of mad at you for not liking it.
Well, listen.
And the fact that
no,
I
this
feel
is the
very
thing.
bombarded because you
No.
didn't tell me how you felt after we watched it.
Well,
You were
it's
just
one
like,
of those
okay.
films like I don't like it, but I think it's fucking hilarious and fun. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
And I feel like that's kind of the stance that I have on a lot of the films that we've watched. Like a lot of the goofball ones, like they're so like they're like junk food. You know?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like a Big Mac and a large Coke with some like whiskey in there.
Yeah.
You know?
See, you know, I didn't even see it as a goofball pick.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool, sweet little.
Well, no,
action
I would
adventure.
say The Mummy is more of like a pop culture classic
Yeah.
for sure, but it has goofy elements to it. Like the whole premise is pretty like supernatural and
Yeah.
goofy and fun. You know what I mean?
I rode the ride at Universal, and it was one of the best rides I rode there.
I've never ridden the Mummy coaster. I think they got rid of it, or do they
think
still have it?
That's a good question.
I've been to a Universal park, but it was like one of the other ones. It wasn't like the main one. It
I
had the
was
Hulk
very-
coaster.
Yeah, it was that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think I saw the Mummy
very
one there.
little. I was very
Yeah.
little, so.
If I had to rate this, honestly, I feel like I'm a complete hypocrite because I said I didn't like it, but I'm going to give it a high score. I give The Mummy a 7.4.
Whoa!
Yeah. Because it's fun, and I like it. It's like a fun, like, talk shit and get drunk movie.
It is, man.
You know? Like, I wouldn't... All of these films that we've been talking about, I feel like I wouldn't have nearly had as much fun if I was watching it alone. Like, if I was watching it alone, The Mummy gets, like a 5.2, but with your closest friends around you and some good viewing buddies...
He looked me right in the eyes. When
I
he said
did.
that, folks.
I had a single tear come down my cheek.
That was really impressive.
Yeah, it was on command, on cue. But yeah, I give it a 7.4, 7.2. What was it?
7.4.
7.4. Yeah, I give it a 7.4 in terms of fun viewing times.
I like it.
Yeah,
I give it an 8.7.
an 8.7. That might be one of your highest picks.
Dude, I love how it went from the start.
It
was
did.
Like, we are in it. Let's go.
That is one thing about this film is it doesn't leave like any. There's no like air pockets or anything.
No.
It just keeps going.
And like there were a couple moments where I was like, "Oh, this is gonna happen," and I was like shocked at moments where like I knew there was a lot of movie left, but I'm like, okay, where's
it gonna go?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 10 plagues was a fun little twist that they had thrown in there. Like he just gets the power of the 10 plagues,
Homie's God,
and
at
he
this
can
point.
he can make like a slave army that have boils and sores.
The funny thing is about this movie too, though, is that at its base, it's like there's a bad book that can raise the dead. And maybe 30 minutes to the end, they're like, "Oh, there's a good book."
Yeah.
They're like, "There's a good book."
Well, because they initially do go out looking for the good book because it's covered in gold.
Is that what
That's the one they're looking for, I think. They're looking for and they're like, oh, it's just buried in another statue in this exact same place. They really put a lot of significant mythological artifacts at this one site.
Yes.
For sure.
Horus and Anubis were right next to each other.
Yeah,
honestly.
they were toit.
Yeah.
Definitely. Would you give this? What would you rate this on the beef score?
On the beef score, man, it's big and healthy. It's big and healthy.
Would you give it a bucket of beef?
I'd give it a bucket of beef, man.
Yeah?
Because honestly, I feel like, me personally, I could watch this movie by myself and be like...
Yeah.
I mean, I would be doing other activities, but look at it and then like, stop. Like, I'm going to do laundry later. It would be... I would watch it while I'm, like, folding my laundry.
Yeah.
Just be like, wow, forgot about it. That's fun.
You know what? I'm talking so much shit about this movie, but it still has a soft spot in my heart. It's like a child that you, like... I don't know, like a misbehaving child that you're like, you want to be mad at, but it's like, it's got charm and it's got its quirks.
It's got charm.
So I still give it a bucket of beef too. I think it's like a cultural movie that's worth watching.
It
for sure.
absolutely is.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And it's got Brendan Fraser. Also, shout out to Brendan Fraser in this. I don't know whose fault it was that he got choked out.
Yeah, you told me
on
this
the set of this film. When he gets hung, there was an interview that I saw of Brendan Fraser where he literally talks about like him blacking out in this. Like, they literally choked him out on screen, basically. And I don't know if
You said it was
of the
him.
shots
You said it was with him getting yoinked back into the jail after he assaults Rachel Weisz.
Oh, that's what it was?
That's what you said.
I thought it was when he... No, I think it's when he's getting hung.
Okay. Because I asked you, I was like, is it not when he gets hung? And you're like, I don't think so.
Oh, no.
So he had like back issues after that.
Well, that was my bad then. It was when he's getting hung.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think he does have back issues from that and everything too. I mean, if you're getting pulled up by your neck, I'm imagining a lot of like muscles going down your spine are going to get pretty and I
remember
fucked
it
up.
looked really good.
It did. It looked very real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe it was a little too real. After hearing about that that story there.
Jesus.
Yeah. But that's The Mummy.
That is The Mummy. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And we'll get into our next film. This is The Break.
We're broken. We're defeated.
Destroyed.
I'm distraught.
All right, Luke. I started last time. Who do you want?
Who do I want as a sponsor?
Yeah.
You know who I want as a sponsor? I'm reminded of this because there's a fried chicken box on our table in front of us.
Yeah.
Right now, we've really been hitting up Crown Fried Chicken.
Yes, sir.
Because it's cheap and it's just so close to where we live.
Yes, sir.
But this is not a request for a Crown Fried Chicken sponsorship.
Oh, twist.
This is instead a request for a Gus's Fried Chicken sponsorship. For those of you that don't know Gus's, I believe it was started in Tennessee. I could be totally wrong. They have about 15 franchise locations throughout the U.S. When Alex and I were living in Detroit, there was a sublime Gus's Fried Chicken restaurant. They specialize in like spicy fried chicken. Their sides are killer. The beans are killer. The coleslaw is killer. The mac is killer. What is potentially the most killer non-chicken item is their chess pie.
Chess pie.
The chess pie is absolutely delicious.
I'm literally
it's basically
about
just
to shed a
cornstarch,
tear.
sugar, eggs, maybe some milk. I'm sure they put milk in it.
Friends and family, if you're listening to this, and I've taken whoever's listening that I have personally taken to Gus's or recommended to Gus's, go get some chess pie, and if it's not warm
it up.
Don't eat it until you take it to a microwave. Put it in for like 30 seconds. If you have some vanilla ice cream in your fridge,
toss it on.
pull out some vanilla ice cream. You will thank me. So good.
Absolutely.
So good. It's just such a homey place. I miss the little picnic tables.
Yeah, it's such a cute vibe. You got the little plastic cups that they serve.
Yeah.
They give to you. It's on like styrofoam or paper plates too when they bring it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's
paper
killer.
plates. They put the bread underneath. You know what's good.
So
Keeping
good.
it juicy.
Yeah, super juicy.
Yeah.
Some moist meat.
No,
I
I got bad shit after every time I eat.
Really?
Oh yeah, but it's like
I didn't. I got a strong good.
Nah, man, that shit is worth it.
So good. So that's my pick. My pick is Gus's Fried Chicken, specifically the Detroit location.
Okay.
Located on, I believe it's, is it on 3rd? Is it 3rd Ave? Or is it off of 2nd?
I think it's off a second.
Off of 2nd. Is there even a 3rd Ave?
Yeah.
There is? That's what I thought. Yeah. But I think it's off of 2nd.
I think you're
From
right.
what you've said.
I think from what I said, it's right there somewhere. There's also one in Royal Oak too. It's a good location.
There's one in Royal Oak too. Wow.
Yeah. Me and Luke briefly talked about trying to bring a location to New York.
Yeah, you got to support us on Patreon.
No, I'm not.
We're gonna.
That dream has flown away.
Nah,
my
that's my
friend.
10-year plan.
That's your 10-year plan.
With or without you.
I just don't want to smell like fried chicken every day.
We don't gotta work there. We can be like the shitty like owners.
bad
that-
owners of
Yeah,
this place.
bad owners.
It would thrive here, dude.
It would.
It would really thrive. Is it my turn to sponsor?
Yeah. What's your sponsor pick?
Oh my god. I like fruit.
You want to be sponsored by All Fruit?
I want to be sponsored by blueberries and strawberries
Ooh.
together.
We got some blueberries
and
right here.
strawberries. Yes, we do.
You want to eat one?
I want to eat one.
Eat one and tell me what one blueberry makes you think of.
Can I have 2?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I might eat 3.
Then I'll have 4.
Well, okay. I would say 5, but we gotta keep the show moving.
There's just nothing like a good blueberry.
What are your 3 words to describe a blueberry? In terms of taste.
Sweet, sour, and blue.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mine's tart, sweet, satisfying.
Ooh. Yeah, much better description.
I love it.
I love everything blueberry flavored.
Mm.
My favorite blueberry flavored thing are the Dum Dums.
Oh, like the little suckers?
Dude, whenever
They got a blueberry flavor?
Whenever I go to the doctor, yeah, dude, I will stockpile.
I feel like I've probably had the blueberry flavor, but I can't really remember.
No,
Dang.
I think that's when my thieving life started. Is when I would dig through bowls of Dum Dums
Mm.
in different.
Yeah, I
offices,
remember that
and I
time
would just
period
take
too. I was always that
only the
kid.
blueberry
I was
ones.
always the kid that always wanted the mystery flavor.
Really?
Yeah, I would always go for the mystery flavor.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah, and I think that explains why I'm indecisive as an adult now, because I just let the world dictate my fate.
See, but I'm so set in my ways with certain things.
That's true, and
with
maybe that's
food.
the blueberry.
That's the blueberry
Man.
conundrum.
Thank you to Dum Dums for teaching us some life lessons.
Fuck it. This is now a Dum Dum sponsorship.
Yeah, specifically the blueberry Dum Dum.
Only the blueberry Dum Dum.
Mhm.
I hope.
And for me, the mystery Dum Dum.
Yeah, I hope they're being made. I wonder if you can get like bags of specific flavored.
I'm sure you can find a plug for that.
I think I'm going to. I think I'm
Yeah?
actually going to do that today.
Hold off, I'll do it for your birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get you 50 pounds of blueberry Dum
I would
Dums.
fucking cry.
We'll see how long they last.
50 pounds?
50 pounds. That'll last you a long time. If that doesn't last you 10 years, I don't know what to tell you, my guy.
I could do it in a year.
In a year, you could go through 50 pounds of Dum Dums?
I could do it in 6 months.
Wow, how many Dum Dums a day is that?
At least 5.
Someone at home do the math for us and let us know.
Yeah.
Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter.
Oh, okay. So Gus's fried chicken
Yeah.
and Dum Dums.
Yeah. That's a good combo.
That is a good combo.
Yeah,
I
those are
fuck with that.
some flavor-packed sponsors.
Oh my gosh. I can't stop thinking about the chess pie.
No, it is
Okay.
quite good.
Anyway. We'll see you on the other side. For the next movie.
Which starts right now.
Hi. Hello. We're doing a movie called Old.
What's old about, Alex?
I'm going to tell you right now. Old, which came out in 2021, is a thriller about a family on a tropical holiday who discover that the secluded beach where they are relaxing for a few hours is somehow causing them to age rapidly, reducing their entire lives into a single day.
Man. So, for those of you that don't know, Old is another classic directed by M. Night Shyamalan. It's very much got, like, the Shyamalan... it's got a Shyamalan energy, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
There's, like, a certain thing about M. Night Shyamalan movies where, like, the performances are kind of muted and neutral.
Yeah.
In some, like, until, like, shit goes crazy.
Yeah.
And then they start, like, kicking it into high gear. I don't know if that's to, like, to discern from, like, the normal and the extreme.
I will say
Or something, but it's kind of like
yeah.
a repeating theme in, like, to the point where I'm like, I feel like it's not just the actors. This seems like a style that
Yeah.
they're going for. But maybe they just cast them that way.
I think it works though in this movie.
I think it works in this
specifically,
movie. Yeah.
Because as the deterioration process begins for like the older folks and people get hurt or like these really precious family moments, definitely there's a spotlight on that when the acting becomes more real.
Definitely. For those of you that haven't seen Old, just basically an overview of the film. I know that that Alex read the synopsis, but in terms of just like the points leading up to the main inciting incident on this beach is that there's these groups of families. It ends up being revealed that multiple members of these families either have pretty severe physical ailments in terms of disease or mental disease. they're basically basically three groups.
Mm-hmm.
Three groups are sent to this private beach, they're told. This exclusive beach that they don't tell a lot of people about at the resort, where they can enjoy a wonderful time. And when they get there, they basically start to age rapidly, and they're trying to understand what's happening. There's a dead body that washes up at the beach, that really starts the whole thing. And they realize that they're unable to escape the beach without blacking out or getting basically severely injured or killed.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did you have any favorite characters in this?
I loved the nurse.
The nurse was great.
The nurse was my favorite. He was just the most like collected and calm. Like, what was his? Did he have an ailment of any sort? Really?
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did
because there were some people. It seemed like there were definitely like some people that just got fucked because they had an ill family member.
Also, though, he could have been placed there specifically as like the aiding person, because I mean he was like the most coherent person there.
Or what do you think he agreed to it?
I don't. No. I think I could picture scientists though being like, oh, it'd be cool to see people actively working on the situation there that are competent, even though he will end up ultimately dying. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, like they wanted him there because he could like. I get what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Because he had special skills, and they're like, "Ooh, this is a plus that we also have a nurse and a doctor."
Yeah.
To see like how they'll deal with all of this.
Yes.
Basically, the reason that the people are on the beach is because there's this unnamed like massive science team that's trying to develop cures for currently incurable diseases. Mm-hmm. So what they can do is they can secretly give them a drug in the form of a cocktail when they get to the island, and if the drug works for say 4 hours on the beach, then they know that it works for say 20 years.
Yeah.
In the outside world.
And I think they said something along the lines of, it was 7 years goes by every 3 hours. I think that
was that what it was.
I think
and
so.
I thought like 50 years goes by in 12 or. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, you said 7 years every 5 hours.
Every 3 hours.
Every 3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not good at math.
Okay, so then it would. Wow, this is going to be embarrassing for both of us.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to try.
But so 12 hours they say 50, but it's 7 hours. No, 7 years every 3 hours.
Yes, 7 years.
So
every
12. So that's 4. So it's 28 years every 12 hours.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that tracks.
Okay, yeah, that reads for sure.
Yeah. Who is your favorite character?
My favorite character. The character that I think that they sort of like tossed away because they couldn't figure out what to do with him was Mid-Size Sedan.
Mid-Size Sedan.
I really liked Mid-Size Sedan. I wish that they would have done more with his character. There's like a lot of, especially in this script, there's like clearly points where like M. Night Shyamalan's like, I know the audience is thinking of this plot hole, so let me just very like directly answer it with a bit of expository dialogue.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like specifically the bit about like the cells. Like, why is our hair not getting longer? Why are our nails not getting longer? And
Yeah.
Like, must just be
a cell difference.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I won't question it, I guess.
Whatever.
Yeah. What was the most crazy moment for you?
Dude, I don't like the kids stuff, man. I don't like the little boy and the little girl getting
What
on
happens?
it. Okay, so Alex Wolff, I mean, so they had to have aged to like 16, 17, 18.
So basically there's 3 kids that end up going to this beach.
Yes.
One of them's 4, one of them's 6, one of them's 11.
Yeah, and the 2 youngest kids, they kind of leave them alone because there's a lot going
Or
on.
9 maybe.
Yeah. But there's like a lot going on, and they're like talking about, wow, like my brain's different. Like I used to see colors so sharply, and now they're so muted. And they're like touching each other, and you're like, ooh, something's gonna happen. And they walk out of the tent, and who was once the little girl is now very, very pregnant. And Alex Wolff is like, oh no, like we're gonna get married, and I'm gonna have a mortgage, and like, just they don't know what they're talking about. The parents are freaking out. My stomach hurts. Like there's just a lot going on.
And then she gives birth on the beach.
She gives birth on the beach, and the baby dies immediately.
It's stillborn because the baby can't age well. Its baby cells can't handle it, but for some reason 4-year-old cells can handle it.
Well, I mean, that's why they give them all the food or whatever. It makes sense that little kids could handle it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were like, the baby died, and the girl who has seizures was like, the baby was malnourished, like just like screams it.
Yeah,
and it's like,
yeah. They had to nurse that baby immediately.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't like that part. I also don't like when the little girl scales the cliff.
Mm-hmm. Well, but she's not a little girl anymore.
She is a little girl.
Well, I know, but she's like 26. I just want the audience to understand that there's not like the actual like depictions of physical 6-year-olds having sex.
Yeah.
They're in their 20s or like they're late teens.
20s.
Yeah, at that point. Yeah.
Who is your least favorite character?
My least
and also,
favorite.
did you have a very cringe moment as well?
Very cringe moment. I mean, there were like a few. I nothing that's like super. The hair and nails thing I thought was really cringy.
Yeah.
I think some of the exposition in the hotel room was kind of cringy, like between the couple of the two kids. That was a little cringy. I don't think dialogue is necessarily M. Night Shyamalan's strong suit.
No.
He's more so a twist and this is an interesting premise kind of thing. And I will say that is a strength of this film is it does have the type of story and the type of ideas where you're constantly trying to come up with a solution to the problem and like trying to understand it. So I appreciate that. My least favorite character was the schizophrenic doctor.
Yeah.
Who was just like he ended up getting basically completely whacked out.
Yeah.
And he killed Mid-Sized Sedan. This character I wanted to learn so much about.
Just murders him.
I do like that he's eventually defeated by a rusty knife.
Yeah.
He gets sliced by a rusty knife, and he's aging so rapidly that his whole body like tetanuses out.
It's crazy.
That's a fun one. Yeah.
No, that guy gave me the creeps. He's a good actor though.
He was good.
He's very
Yeah,
good.
he was really good in that.
Nobody was like. I mean, it was a really stellar group of.
Yeah, I don't think there
actors.
were necessarily any weak performances. I just think that there was like a general air of like complete like kind of monotone neutrality like before they got onto the island.
Yeah.
Which felt a little strange to me.
Yeah.
The one of my like what the fuck is happening like this is so wacky moments was the beautiful wife of the doctor has a severe calcium deficiency and her body starts to like deteriorate because she doesn't have enough calcium in her body and her bones. She's like in a cave and she's like throwing rocks at these kids trying to get her away from them or trying to get them away from her. And like her bones just start like crunching and clacking and going in on themselves. That's an ouchie.
Very ouchie.
Spot, yeah.
And the thing about both of the movies that we've watched, I feel like the expository stuff is just so on the nose.
I know.
Like so.
These were
very
both two
on the
movies that were
nose.
very much like, "Hello, audience. This is what you need to know."
Well, it was really funny. In Old, the little boy is almost exclusively the device for that because he literally to all the main characters is like, "What's your name and occupation?"
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is kind of a fun way to do that.
Yeah.
I think that isn't cringy, but the way that they had the like the exposition between his parents, I think was not good.
And then with Evelyn the librarian and the mummy, just like all that exposition in the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oof, okay, all right. We're not dumb.
We're really just going right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So this is my second time watching it. I didn't watch it all the way through this time. I had to dip out. But definitely, it was more fun watching it the first time because you're kind of with everyone and like, okay, like I would try this, and the characters try it, and you're like, okay. It like keeps you involved in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this time watching it, because of how it ends and so many people are gone by the end of it, like you kind of witness what should be a time of like cherishing each other.
Yeah.
I actually appreciated it more the second time around, but I enjoyed it a lot more the very first time I watched it.
Yeah, I
that make
totally get
sense?
that. Do you think, this is a little ethical question for you, do you think that what the scientists were doing was complete evil?
No.
Like a
no.
complete disregard
Absolutely
for
not.
human life?
No, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's sort of like that train situation, right? Where it's like one person or six, you know what I mean?
For sure, because they are developing cures to like these horrific illnesses.
Absolutely.
You know,
It makes a
and
lot
they're
of sense.
finding success. But it is crazy that this was like the 76th iteration of this. Like they've killed so many.
I was gonna say though, in my opinion, I feel like people would voluntarily do it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I don't think you
Yeah.
need to trick people onto this island. I think if you're like chronically ill or whatever, and people are like, "Hey, we're gonna, if you're interested, we will, study you on this island, and we're gonna use our data to help, other people in your position."
Give them like a stipend.
Yeah.
Get Big Pharma to pay for it, you know. But since
Absolutely.
it's Big Pharma, of course, they're not going to try to pay people to do it.
No.
They're just going to lure people into it.
But I definitely think there would be some people who would just do it. So in that way, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
How they're going about it is bad.
The coercion's fucked up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a clear ethical wrong. For sure. What would you rate it? On a scale of 0 to 10 rusty beach knives.
Rusty beach knives. I have to. I part of me wants to give it 2 separate scores because, like I said, I enjoyed it the first time.
Like a
lot
first
more.
watch score and a second watch score?
Yeah. Okay. So my first watch score, I will give it like a 7.5.
Oh, wow. That's high.
Because I mean, like I appreciate stories like this where you are pondering questions as the characters are pondering questions, and like you feel the clock running out, and you're just kind of with them on that journey. So I give it a high score in that regard. Knowing what happens the second time around, you get to look around as an audience member and be like, they don't have time. They just don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
And you have that, creeping anxiety in your life anyway, where like,
I'm running out of time.
yeah. And whether it's like really like in your face right now or not, you're like, I want to call my mom. Like, I want to call my friends. I want to call my grandparents and just be like, hey, just checking in. You never know.
Yeah.
So, but my second time around, I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Okay.
It was thought provoking,
Yeah.
but not as enjoyable.
Yeah, my whole thing with like a lot of M. Night Shyamalan films, and I haven't seen his entire catalog. Have you seen Sixth Sense?
I have.
I have not seen Sixth Sense. I would love to watch that for one of ours, but
It's okay.
we'll see what the patrons vote for.
Yeah.
This is my thing because I think it's such a fun idea, and I think the idea itself like really supports it kind of gives a framework to support what I think is an otherwise kind of like weak movie in terms of like the shots that they have and like the dialogue.
Yeah.
Like in the end when the now like 50 and like 46-year-old brother and sister who used to be like 4 and 8 go to like a police officer at the hotel, and they're just like, you're a police officer, right? And they just like know that he's a police officer, and they're able to sneak through this resort. Like that's lazy.
It's lazy.
You know.
Lazy.
I give sheerly through like the imagination of the idea, and I think some of the individual performances, I give it a 6.2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my vote. I would give it it's a quarter pounder for me in terms of a bucket of beef. I don't think this is like a must watch movie.
No.
I think it's also another fun like sit down with some friends, like maybe get a little inebriated, and
If I had to pick between the two, I'd be like, we're just gonna watch The Mummy.
oh, I would totally pick The Mummy to watch with friends over old for sure. But it's a fun like talk shit about this movie. Like I watched it with Alex and Roma. Alex had to dip toward the end of the film because he was going off to do something, but he'd obviously seen it before. And Roma and I were watching it, and we had some good kind of cinematic discussions about the film. And I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So if you're watching with a group of people, it's also
Especially your movie
a fun
friends.
one. Yeah, especially movie friends. This one's a fun movie to watch with movie friends.
Yeah.
For sure.
So here's my question. It's not like an ethical question, but I like bringing our movies together in questions.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to take the same group that went to the tomb in The Mummy and put them on this island,
Oh my god.
do you think they'd make it off? Not that any.
If they had the same plot armor as they did in The Mummy, 100%.
But they all have their guns.
They all have their guns.
They all have their guns. Okay.
I mean, Brendan Fraser's like sniping M. Night Shyamalan from the hill. M. Night Shyamalan's also in this movie, and he's like one of the observing scientists.
He's like the guy in the truck who brings them to the island.
Yeah, but he also like runs like the on-site monitoring
Yeah.
thing. He like takes notes on everyone and all that. Yeah.
So I mean, let's play hypotheticals, okay? Let's just bring it to Benny, the brother and sister, and Brendan Fraser.
Brother dies. Benny dies.
I feel like Benny goes nuts and tries to kill all of them. I fucking hate Benny.
I
so
feel like
much.
Benny would somehow find enlightenment on the island.
You think
He's
so?
like, I've been chasing after treasure all along, and where did it get me?
Yeah.
Maybe he has
It's been 8 hours.
a crisis
That's
of
changed.
consciousness, of conscience. That's what the word is. Oh man, I think Evelyn gets out.
You think Brendan Fraser doesn't get out?
Oh, that's a hard one. Evelyn and Brendan Fraser probably get
I
out.
think they both get out.
Yeah, they probably get out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so refresh my memory. So the brother and sister get out by going through the
coral.
The coral.
They're metal. They're a theoretical or metaphorical metal tube.
Yes. Okay. I think they would find that.
You think they'd find that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Cool. Are you set? Are you good?
I think I'm set. I think I'm good.
Cool. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us on the
5th episode.
The Bucket of Beef show. This was The Mummy and Old. We are going to check our Patreon and see what you guys voted for the next episode. At this point, like today, we're 2 days away from releasing the first 3 episodes.
Ooh.
I'm nervous. Are you nervous?
I'm a little nervous. I'm just excited to see how it goes. See what
Yeah.
people think. See if anyone listens.
I think people.
For those of you that are still listening after listening to those earlier episodes, thank you.
Yeah,
and
thank you so
we
much.
hope to make many more for you.
Absolutely. Well, man, my name is Alex Morrison,
My name is Luke Hodson
and we'll catch you
on the beef side.
later, baby.